Hello, dear family.
Hello, dears. Hello. Pleasure to be with you today here.
Yes, as you see, we are Ganga, Coto, and I. We are here because Coto wants to share something special with us, and he called this meeting, and it's really nice to be together with Ganga and with Coto to share something very important on the right moments in this beautiful space that we just opened, and that we, as you already know and feel, that we are the 144, and we are going to always be the 144 connected forever, because you are our soul family. We are our soul family. And so I would like to, I am Karin, you know me, and I'm very happy to be here to support, to hold space together with you, and to also do on my own, with my own energy, also this transmission, translating and supporting Koto with my own energy, transmitting the news that I wanted to share from the other part of the world, our planet, and our duty to communicate and to listen. And we already open this space from the heart. And that's the most important thing. We open our hearts to receive and to give. And in this movement, we're going to speak and we're going to listen to each other. So welcome, Koto. Thank you for being here to share your experience, your thoughts, and your emotions with us. And welcome, Ganga. I love you both.
Thank you very much to you, Karin, and to you, Ganga. It's very special for me to be with you. For the people who don't know you, you both are very special master, a master for many people. You have helped to many people with your wisdom and with your knowledge. For me, I cannot be more proud than sharing this moment with you both. I would like to thank you to Julene too for the idea to record all of this information of the path. Thank you, Julene. She is a very special person that we met in Egypt 2 years ago. So I only would like to say that this is a very special moment in the planet to have this conversation. And at this moment, this trinity between our three is also very special because I am in Chile. There is a country, there is a very revolutionary country, and at this moment, the fever of the revolution is in the highest level I had feel in my life. Ganga is in Italy, but she is from Russia. So she also has in her blood the energy of what is happening over there at this moment in Russia and Ukraine. And you, Karin, that special wisdom came from South America too. You are from Peru, and now are living in Europe, in Belgium, in the heart of the planet. So I hope that wherever we talk here helps to a lot of people. Thank you both. I love you too.
Thank you. I love you.
It's a very right place and a right time to speak now. And for me, it's a very special time meeting you guys in this moment, being here in the north with my southern hearts. And let's manifest this unconditional love that we carry and that we need to spread the words and spread the love doing this. So please, Koto, tell us, how do you feel right now, and share with us, because yeah, it has been like the most intense 2 years. The past 2 years has been so crazy and so intense for each of one of us. I think everyone who's listening, everyone knows this. And it will be great to listen to every single one of you over 144. How is it now?
Well, how do I feel now? I feel very excited and very confident, but very confident because you both are here with me. I am not a person who like to expose. I never been a person who like to be in the front line in order to express my ideas. Only if people are close to me or ask me any question, I very happy to help other people. But otherwise, I prefer to be in the background. But at this moment, it's a thing. I feeling that is happening something in the planet that is very related with the generation of humans. I call the generation of humans that is beginning now. In order to understand better how the generation of humans, we had to remind that there was a first generation of humans that live under the kingdoms and monarchies, and in the French Revolution, at the same time, there was another kind of revolutions uh, with the engine and other technologies. At that moment, there was the beginning of a second generation of humans. But that second generation of humans was living now under republics, governments with presidents, Congress, and wherever we know. So when we were under kingdom, we transformed that power into political. It is very, it's very the same because the power has that bad things about when you have too much power, political power. The corruption is very easy because they manage a lot of money in every country. Even in the poorest country, they manage too much money. It's not the money that a person is just to have in the hands for the normal life. But when they are in the government, they are at the power. For that reason, there are many people that are suffering because of the political power. And I mean suffering, for example, what is happening at this moment in Cuba, what is happening at this moment in Venezuela, also what is happening not because of the poverty in Ukraine and Russia, but what is happening there is also something that is managed by political powers. Because I am pretty sure that Russian people, normal Russian people, feel very connected with Ukraine people. They feel like the same. But there are a political power that wants to divide the people in order to make the interest. Most people don't understand that uh, what is happening now in Ukraine and Russia is something more connected with economy. After the Second War, United States began putting his currency of the currency to the war. Now, we use all the US dollar as the international currency, and United States doesn't want to lose that position. But unfortunately, United States, we lost the position of the currency of the world, because the next currency will be a currency that is not centralized in any country. We already know that. It's very related with what we know about blockchains and Bitcoin. But in order to avoid that, we know what United States do always in order to to avoid to lose the position of the power. The United States has done in Iraq, now in Ukraine, and interfered in many countries in order to keep the position of power. I don't want to be misunderstood, because when I said United States, I don't say the United States people. I have many friends in United States. I had many beloved people in United States. And when I say United States in this kind of situation, I mean the political power of United States. It's very different, the political power of a country with the people who live in that country. For example, in Peru, the people is amazing. I love the Peruvian people, very kind, very honest people. But the corruption in the political level in Peru is very high. So you cannot mix the political people, the political power, with the normal people. The normal people are very disconnected to that reality. Even in Chile, what is happening here now is something that began exactly before of the pandemic, with something that most people say that is a revolution to stop the abuse of the political power. I am very agree with that. The problem is that the political power use this moment to do the same that they do in other countries where the communist is government. For example, in 19th in Venezuela, they said, okay, how do we can stay in the power? We had to rewrite the constitution. The constitution for many countries who are that are under republics is the most important book. It's the most important law book, and it can change the country for many years. And on September 4, in about 2 more weeks, in Chile, we will vote for to reject or accept the proposal of a new constitution. The problem is that this new constitution was wrote by communists mostly. It's very related. Also, the people, the political power who want this new constitution in Chile most are the Communist Party. So for people, it's very easy to hear that they will have more rights, they will have more benefits, the state will provide whatever they want, the state will make them happy, the state will provide whatever they need, and that is not true. That is not true. And I think that this revolution that is happening in Chile at this moment will have a very good impact into the rest of the planet for so many reasons. But most important is that this revolution could change the humanity to the third generation of humans, the next generation of humans. And why I say that? As I said before, the first generation of humans were living under kingdoms. The second generation of humans are living now under republics. And the next generation of humans will live under the power of the same people. The same people will govern themselves. That is not easy. Also, I would like to mention that when we met in Cairo, in Egypt, I had the opportunity to have a private conversation with Matias Stefano in the Nile cruise, and I was asking something about the revolution that will happen in the planet, and he said to me that the next revolution will begin in Chile. It was in 2021, and I said, why Chile? Chile is a very small country in the corner of the world, and we have many things that are good, but we also have many things that are bad. We had to improve a lot. So why can be the beginning of a revolution? And when I came back to Chile, I had that idea around in my head, and I began to correlate some information in order to understand why Matias said that to me. And yeah, there are many things that makes that is possible that the next generation of humans begin here in Chile with a new kind of consciousness. That kind of consciousness I am talking about political, that people can govern themselves. First, in Chile, in 1973, there was also a communist government that I was not living at that moment, but I can read the numbers of the economy numbers of that moment, and the economy at that moment in Chile was horrible. What that president did for Chile was horrible. Destroyed the economy, the poverty was so very high, and the military uh, stopped that government. After that, there were many bad things that happened that I don't want to be defend of the military government, because they did very bad things too, but also they did very good things. And one of the best things that they did was that we were in Chile for 25 years without politicals. There are many countries around the world that has been for many years under military governments without politicals, but they don't do good things for the country. And in Chile, it was an exception because the military government make that this country began to grow the economy. And nowadays, it's very different situation of that years ago. I said yesterday to Ganga that here in Chile, it's very easy that people has more than one cell phone. The internet connection is very easy to have internet connection. Everybody has internet connection. So that is the first point that I would like to connect of why the revolution began here. Because in 19th, in Venezuela, people received the message that political wants to rewrite the constitution, but the only information that they have at that moment was the television and the radio. And the television and the radio always has been managed by politicals, power. Now in Chile, it's very easy that people don't see TV. Even myself, I don't watch TV for many time. I don't remember when was the last time when I turn on the television. But I see a lot of YouTube video, TikTok. I would like to receive information from what I decide to receive, and also something that most people should do is to receive information from many parties, not only for the party that you prefer. If you are a person who like the left party, don't only watch information from the left party. Also, you have to watch information from the right party too, in order to have more information to take and to make decision. So uh, also, I have another opportunity to take a breakfast with Matias Stefano. For the people who don't know who is Matias Stefano, is a master who is Argentinian guy uh, who, for some people, is very very. Uh, I shouldn't say famous, but a very respected person who knows a lot, who recorded a lot of life, not only this life. And he said to me that what is the essence of Chilean people is the revolutionary. And I asked to him, so if the Chilean people is revolutionary, what is the Argentinian people? And he said to me, Argentinian people is very adaptable. Argentinian people adapt to everything. And yeah, it's right. For that reason, Argentina at this moment is under communism, and the country is in a very bad position at this moment because they adapt to whatever happens in the political situation. But Chile, no. Chile, when the political situation is bad, immediately began some disorders, began some destroying things, and people are not comfortable and express that. So, considering that, the information that people are receiving today is not from television. The information that Chilean people is receiving today is from internet. And internet is the tool that is very similar to what happened in the French Revolution, in the time of the French Revolution, when humans invented the engine. So the engine and the French Revolution put the line between the first generation and the second generation. And the internet and the revolution in Chile, I think and I feel that is put the beginning of the third generation of humans. With that, it's very important to understand that when people will begin to govern themselves, they will make a lot of mistakes because it's like a child trying to learning to walk. It is the first time that people will govern themselves, and we can make a lot of mistakes that we had to learn from them. It's very important that in order to pass to this point, the president of the country should be not as good. And that is happening also at this moment in Chile. The president in Chile is someone who is not prepared. The ideas of him are very destroying. When he was in the university, he was in the university always in the federation of students, making that a student please don't study, always making disorder. And I would like to tell something about the education in Chile. My first university, that was the Federico Santa Maria University, is a very good university in Chile. Also, the education is very expensive here. But since my mother was not able to pay my education, I received many scholarship, so I studied my first degree almost for free. But I saw in the university some of these kind of guys, like the president today in Chile, that they was always trying to cars. Let's stop the classes. Let's destroy this. And I said, why you are doing that? I am a person who can say it that in Chile, if you don't have resources, but you have the intention to study, you can. Even today, is more accessible the education. In my time, it was in 2000, in the year 2000, when the government paid for my education with 90%, and I'm very sure that at this moment today is more accessible. But there are always that idea that of the political parties or the political people that wants to express that no, everything is not good, everything has to change. We need to make this, we need to, and we had to stop hearing the political situation. And we had to begin hearing our heart in order to understand that we are not divided. We need to understand that political people like to divide the people in order to govern better. So, as I said, very similar situation that is happening in Ukraine and Russia, where the political power is also dividing the people, but the people don't want to feel divided. And considering that, the the thing is that many people are saying that what is happening in Chile is tracing the route for the next countries. And if I will say something to the rest of the people in the world, is that it's very important to understand that political power will always to distortionate the information. Political power has a lot of resources, has a lot of money to even put a lot of information that they want the people here on internet. They used to do on television, on radio for many years ago, but also they have the resources to do it on internet. And people has to understand that it's not a good idea to hear political people. But how can we do a third generation of people governing by themselves without political? In my humble opinion, we need to change the name of the political. If you are in the government, you should not be called political because the name of political is very annoying by a lot of people. And a good name for that in Spanish is servidor público. In English should be public servant. And that is true because the people who are governed to the rest should be public servant. You should be there because you want to help to the others, not because you want to make millionaire, not because you want to make millionaire to your family or to your friends. So with that, the information will be managed only by the people. The power could be managed only by people making mistake, as I said before. But those mistakes could be taken with more love, understanding that the decision was taken not by only one person or two people. It was taken by all the country, all the region, or whatever you can say. I would like to hear what is the opinion of Ganga in this, because I feel that what is happening in Russia and Ukraine is also like that. People don't feel divided. It's the political power who want to divide the people. What do you think, Ganga?
Well, in Russia and Ukraine, yeah, because I'm from Russia originally, and I've been in Russia just exactly when the war started, yeah, after the February, the end of the February. And the people are really like before the war, in different campings, let's say like that, in different parties, in different sites, who are about for vaccine, who are about not to vaccinate themselves. Now it's became like maybe five different sites or six different sites who are on the part of the government about vaccination, not vaccination. Then in the same time about this war, what is happening. Like some of them, they think that it's better not to be a patriot because they kind of like lost their patria, yeah, and they cannot be proud of the land and the government. But it's mainly like let's say that 80% of the people who still in Russia, they watch TV every day. So for sure they're receiving the news from the internet and all other stuff, yeah. But somehow like they're still programming um, themselves from the TV. So and it's a lot of people who doesn't have their own opinion because we're still in coronavirus, and coronavirus is what? It's about corona, which doesn't work. Yeah, let's remind you that corona chakra is about what? Receive information to be connected with the universe and to be on the same frequency. And if you are a little bit outside of that connection, you are very easily manipulated. And any kind of information which you receive it as a gift, yeah, and you think, yeah, why not, I will do like that. And someone say to you, do this and you will be happy, and they do it, and it doesn't matter what, or think like this and everything is okay. So it's a lot of different kind of sides and opinions there. Someone think that it's right, and yes, we need to have a war, and Ukrainians are our enemies, yeah. But it's like more about the people who are very programmed. It's not like their own opinion, let's say like that, but it's just that manipulation which is happening. All other people, they say no way, no war. Like Ukrainians, they're also my friends because let's say about the Moscow, which is the capital of Russia, yeah. So more or less like 60%, maybe, okay, I'm not in statistic, but more or less like 60% of the people who are not from Russia, they are from Ukraine, and they're still there, and they have families, and they have work, and everything is still okay. So no one say, okay, you're Ukraine, now we have a war, go out. And through my friends, it's a lot of Ukrainian people. And let's say that those people who doesn't live in Russia and in Ukraine anymore, they could see a little bit wider, or those people who had traveled before, yeah, because they know already how the cultures in other countries, what's happening in other countries. They see in that kind of line what is happening in the government in one country and another one, and they can see that it's kind of like still the same programming, no? Maybe they have different names, but more or less it's still happening the same. So it's a lot of Russian people who are, they just don't understand what's happening. I mean, they understand that it's a government joke, but they don't understand what's happening with some people who are taking the opposite side, and they're saying, no, no, no. So you're for war, it doesn't matter. It could be like both Russians. Yeah, one for war, another one is like the opposite side. So he doesn't accept the war, and then they start to become fight. Yeah. So everything is very easy. It's not about Ukrainians. It's not about Russians. It's not about nationalities at all. It's just about the popolo, di umanità, no, just like the all of the population, which have to be somehow separated by some idea, and that's how it's creating that kind of movement. By one side, actually, it's very good because the more we have people who are not satisfied about life, the more they start to bring some changes. Because if we're sitting in the comfort zone, what's happening? Nothing. You're still sleeping, you're still lazy, and everything is okay, right? But when you're starting to receive some challenges here, there, and then and now you need to again to work with the survive instinct and everything. So you start to create any kind of stability, and all of the people, they are trying to create their own stability. So somehow, especially in Russia, all of the people in Russia, they are revolutionaries from the beginning. It's inside of the blood. Yeah. So from the child, they already know, I will do this. This is my politic things, and another one. So they have that in let's say passion to bring some changes. That's why they cannot be they don't like to be under control. So but with some of the people, they need to understand that they are under control to go outside of that. Yeah. So that's what is happening. And yeah, a lot of people, they are under the pressure because corona chakra is totally unbalanced and everything. But in the same time, those who are already awakened, already understanding and everything, they're bringing more peace. So what are they doing? They go to Ukraine, some Russians, they go by themselves to Ukraine, and they start to help the people in Ukraine. Or, for example, in all other countries where the immigrants from Ukraine, which ran away from the war, or even before somehow they moved to another country to look for the better life or whatever, they are creating communities, and all of the communities, they are mixed. Yeah, so that's why between my friends, it's a lot of Ukrainians. And for example, I stayed in the hub and in other places in Egypt, and not only in Egypt, where there's a lot of communities which are how they call Russian speaking, yeah, people. So they're all mixed. It could be people from Moldavia, from Ukraine, from Belarus, yeah, even if they are kind of like not in conflict, but still we are there. Yeah. So what is happening between Russia and Ukraine is just showing actually what's happening also in all other countries, and what will happen next in Chile. By my own opinion, it's kind of like the first step to bring that change. Yeah, because this sea, which is already like not calm at all, because everyone has its own attention intention to change something, because the people already tired about some stuffs and other stuffs. So it start to move more and more and more, and drop after drop, we're creating the big change and the big movement. And from this chaos could be born something new, like ontocratia or whatever. Yeah, what was Matthias talking about? Because it's a new generation, and it's the people who doesn't work to sit under the manipulation, and they're creating that peace. They understand that everything needs to come from the love, and that's what happening also between Russian and Ukrainians. When we are meeting each other, we are hugging each other, for sure. Not all of us, but the people who could feel, who have the empathy, who feel the other person in front. Yeah, they start from this. So that's about the changes.
Yeah, that is very interesting because we cannot be without problems, because if we are without problems, we will be sleeping always, as you said. For that reason, I said too, that is not bad that at this moment in Chile, the government, the president, is not prepared. He has very bad ideas. He doesn't know anything about economy. It's not bad. It's good because it's an opportunity to understand that we don't have to depend of a president. We had to begin to depend from ourselves, not from someone, not from some person. Also, the polarity that we discussed yesterday is not bad. The polarity when people are very polarized, like at this moment is happening in this country, people who feel that we must to reject the communist proposition or we must to accept the communist proposition, is very polarized the country. That is not bad neither. Is what we need to awake, is what we need to understand how to do the things in the future. But if we don't feel connected to each other, it will be destroying the society. It would be not good idea. Also, when we talk about the immigration, that is something that is a big problem too in this moment in Chile. Chile is a very welcome country to foreign people, but at this moment it's not like that, and it's not like that because it's too much immigration. But we don't have to forget that we are all connected, even with immigrants, even with the people who are in the other side of the planet. And I always like to explain this with an exercise of reality. And the exercise of reality is uh, very connected with astronomical knowledge. That very simple. That if you are in the place that you are sit now, and you close your eyes, and you feel that you are elevating into the sky, and you can see below, you will see the city where you were sit. And if you elevate more and more and more, you will see the country, you will see the continent, you will see the planet. And if you elevate more and more, you will see the solar system. And if you elevate more and more, you will see that the planet Earth is only a point of dust, very small point of dust. Where is United States? Where is Russia? Where is Chile? Where is all the countries in Europe? All of the countries in the world? So can feel, how can we can feel separated with that reality? What I said is not false. It's a reality. That is true. That we in the air in this planet are a very small point. We can feel that the universe is immense, that the country or the building that is in your city is very big, but we are not that big. In reality, we are very small, and also we are all together. To understand this kind of unity is not that easy. Even for me, was not that easy years ago. But a good point to begin is to know and to understand a little bit better what compassion is. Karen asked to me what compassion is for me, and it's like empathy, but with more action. When you put action into the empathy, when you feel what the other people feel, and when you feel that you can help to other and you take an action, for me that is a bit more call it compassion. I'm feeling that it's more easy to understand how connected we all are together. And why I would like to tell this. For me, it's very important to tell this because if we don't feel that, we can destroy ourselves. In the universe, there are many, many stories that the civilization has destroyed themselves. That is true. There are many, many civilizations that has destroyed themselves. And if we don't feel compassion for each other, we will destroy ourselves in this civilization. And I don't want to see that. I feel that we are prepared to elevate our consciousness in order to feel more connected and to feel more love for each other. And not for each other, it's for everything. Animals, plants, to understand how the godness is in everything, even in a flower, even in a bird. The life that is in an ant, very small ant, also is life. And when you begin respecting the life, you will begin respecting yourself. And for me, it's very important to people understand that in order to this civilization don't destroy by themselves. I would like to hear you, Karin. What do you feel and what do you think?
Thank you, Coto, and thank you, Ganga. When you said that it's not easy now these days in Chile, I really can transport myself there and feel it. Is it necessary? Yes. History is gonna repeat and repeat and repeat till we do it in another way. And the soil and all the circumstances now are perfectly in the right moment and the right place to give birth this new humanity. So I really, really understand your point. It's, you can express and open your heart saying like the time is now and we need to do it not the same as we did 12,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago or 10 days or 10 years ago. And that's why I love and I really honor this meeting and your sharing, because if everyone shares like this from the heart, what they want is to be in unity and to be humans without these borders from the heart. But we cannot jump. But we could like put the intention. And if there is enough people together who put this intention, yes, we can jump and we do this quantum leap. And we do this transmission of love and expansion. And yes, we are doing this. We were doing these alignments, and thank you for all the beautiful masters that we have and we had for many, many, many lives and yet to come. Even masters from the future coming here in the present to tell us we are supported and everything is just perfect, we can do this now. It's just a choice. And you just made a choice. So from my heart, what I feel, also when you said like politicians, they need to be public servitors. Maybe my English is not that, but like public service. Not only politicians, we need to be public servitors as well. We need to be the example of being human. And I love the sharing of Ganga saying like, yeah, Russian people who are aligned, who are humans, who are really feeling from the heart, thinking from themselves and not eating from the biggest drug of the nation, television. They go to Ukraine and they do together communities, but this is happening and it has happened all over the world, not only now and there. We are doing this also now. So imagine we are aligning, and thank you, Matthias, for showing us also being the educator of also with other masters, that we remember that we need to align with what? With the planets. The planet, that's our mother, that's our home, that's the basis of everything because we are here. So if we align with that, everybody needs to align with that before it's not gonna happen. We can align with a politician, with a rule, with a border, with a pattern, but we need to align with Earth. And then we can do this massive acupuncture and do the transmission together, not only with 144, with 144,000. 1,000 what? Experiences. Experiences of what? Of consciousness, of being present as human, like you just did. Open your heart, saying, I want to share with you guys from the heart. That's being present. That's being a public servitor. That's being human. And not only for Chile, also for Peru, for Russia, for Ukraine, for the world, for Pachamama, for our planet, like you said, but also when you zoom out, for the universe, for creation, because we are evolving towards unity, and it hurts. And yes, there are wars, and yes, there are disputes, and yes, it's pain. And yes, we're gonna sweat. But we are gonna continue.
That's very true. To be a public servant, it is not something that you choose to do in this kind of level in the life. It's something that you choose before of this life. I would like to connect this with what Ganga said, that the suffering is necessary to to evolutionate. And the best example that I know, I had never read this in any book, is about Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, for me, is a very good example because he decided to born in this planet as an orphan without parents. Why? Because only with that suffering he will be able to have the emotion to demonstrate something to the world, that he is important. He must not be ignored. If Steve Jobs born in this planet with a normal family, we never have an iPhone in our hands, for sure. So the suffering is needed sometimes. But we need to take that suffering with more consciousness. And what I mean with more consciousness is not take that suffering like something that you want to take revenge, that you want to make suffering to another one either, is that you have to take the suffering to evolutionate yourself for any kind of suffering. Everybody has problems, personal problems. Everybody has personal suffering. Actually, every country has different kind of suffering and problems. And that kind of problems and suffering are there only to make you awake, to open the eyes.
Even the earth has her own personality and cycle. And the earth is also getting in this cycle, in this evolution. That's true. We are.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. Also when you said the air that is has the same consciousness, some people maybe don't forgot or don't understand that
Coto, you are away.
circulation of the planet
Coto,
in order to
you were away. We didn't hear your the 2 minutes ago. You just stopped. You were disconnected.
me.
Yes. So if you can start from picking it up when you said like if you talk as the earth having one consciousness, because we didn't hear your.
Okay, okay. I said that the air has one consciousness. That is very important to understand that the life here in the planet didn't exist many millions before, many millions of years ago. And why now is possible to have life here in Chile, here in the planet? Because the planet is life itself. But it's very hard to understand that. Even I tried to put in my consciousness many years ago, and if you said to me, the life is the planet, you are in this planet very connected to the planet too. If the planet don't want the life exists, the life will not exist for sure. But how respect the planet, how respectful we are with the planet? Not so much, not so much.
That's
There are some countries that I admire a lot, that has more respect for the Mother Earth. Like for example, Peru. I admire a lot that, because the people is more connected with the Mother Earth, is more connected with the reality of the life, not with the economy, not with the big buildings, not with the big corporations, and that is the part.
that's why we needed to, and we need to align every time again and again and again with Earth, with Mother Earth, because we are going now to be even more grounded than ever. Because we have this father, these patterns, and now we are going back to this mother. And when you see mother or Pachamama as the force of creation and also the nature, the trust that Mother Nature has in this seed to grow. A seed without earth is not growing. So imagine the power of creation, power of Pachamama. You put this, you have our planet, you put the same seed in our earth. You give it love, warmth, water. Pachamama takes care of it and is going to grow something on it. Other planets, not the same power, not the same source, not the same force, this life force energy of our planet, it's not gonna grow anything because it's our planet. And we need to know that. Whatever we put in the ground, if it's a chewing gum, yeah, it takes 30 years or something to get again decomposed, decomposed.
Decompose, yeah.
Yes, but imagine this force. That's what we need to like really be present and be connected every day with the force of nature, of this power of how the seed grows to a tree, how this baby grows to a human being, how the water is going to the ocean, how the lighting is, how nature, this Pachamama, and we need to be aligned. When we are aligned to this earth, then it's gonna be more easy to align together and to co-create and to live in communities or in more harmonic ways. Yes.
What you said made me to remind how hilarious is that there are many science people who are worried how to find or how to transport life into Mars. We are not able to improve the life in this planet and we want to move to another planet. That is, I don't want to say, but it's ridiculous. How do you feel that it's possible to live in another planet if we are here in this planet? We need to improve the life in this planet. We need to begin living, begin to love this planet, understand how connected we are with this planet. And we need to learn a lot of things yet. But well,
Yeah, it's arrived the time of responsibility. Not to escape, but to stay here and to clean what everything have to be created. It doesn't matter if it's by your own hand or by hand of someone else. Anyway, we need to clean it, otherwise.
I would love to share something about what my experience was not so long ago when I was aligning myself with Mother Earth, specifically with the temple of Osirion. And so when I was in the Osirion, in the temple, something happened. And I came very clearly with this mission and I needed to do that. And I was completely aligned with something and with Mother Earth, with her waters, specifically that point on Earth. And I did everything in all my being and power to do so. And we succeeded, all of us. We did it together. But what I wanted to share is actually something that happened simultaneously. And it's still happening for real now on this moment. And it's more intensive. It's more intense than ever. Because I was cleaning together with you as one, the temple, the waters, but I needed to clean myself. I needed to clean my waters, my temple. And I was not immediately seeing that. I was really like being, these areas and being this, but I was really not seeing that. And little by little, I discovered that. And it was not easy. And it was not fun. And it was very confronting.
Wow, that is very important point because Osirion temple in Egypt is a very important temple. And you participate in a project to clean that temple. And now I understand what does it mean for you. It is, to clean our your own temple. Something that make a lot of sense.
The thing that I was actually not seeing is cleaning my own temple. And that's the most difficult thing. And that's also public service. I clean my temple, I will be a better person. And I will be transmitting more love and unity, speaking more truth, and acting better. So while you do and you align to earth, and you do whatever you feel the need to do, but it starts here. So
Right.
thank you, and let's be this talk, three of us, with the 144, with the 144,000. Let's be this. Let's give this a name, and this is an invitation to do the
Let's
same.
bring the change. Let's bring the change from each of us. Yeah, cleaning our own temples and then balancing all other things. Calibrating.
Yes,
Please, Karin, continue.
well, and physically, emotionally, and spiritually. If Metatron show up and says, be the ray, be your color, shine and go and expand, actually, physically, we need to clean our waters. We are Earth. We are humid Earth. We need to clean our waters to be the good or a clean channel to shine our light. And we, 144, 144,072, whatever the number is, we are, every one of us is a channel of light, and everyone has her own power and her own codes to do magic on earth. And what I'm very happy with is that we are a family and we can do this. And we need to do this united. So thank you for initiating this and to continue this, because, you are present. Thank you, Coto.
Very, very interesting point, and some interesting information is that the planet is called Earth, but it's mostly water. So it could be water instead of Earth, but it's a very good example that the planet is mostly water, but also there are earth, there are air, and there are fire. And when you understand that a person, you yourself, are also fire, water, earth, and water, earth, fire, and earth is very interesting point to connect that you are more connected with the earth than most people know. When I said that to someone else, he said to me, "Why do you say that people is fire?" And this is something that Matthias told us uh, about the systems. We are divided in 12 systems, and three of those systems that we have in the body are fire: the sexual, the endocrine, and the digestive system is fire. How? Well, you had to understand more about the function of the endocrine system in order to understand how wisdom is there to transform the hormones into communication with the other system, the digestive system, with the acid that we have in the stomach, and the sexual energy that we all have is only fire. Also, with the other system that represent the water, the system that represent the earth and the earth. It's very easy to understand when you connect those systems that you really have in the body with the elements. I love that connection to understand how the respiratory system is connected with the air, the immune system is connected with the air too, the nervous system is connected to the air too, the bones are connected with the air, the skin is connected with the air, the muscle system connected with the air too, and the water, the water system with the circulatory of the blood, the lymphatic, and the excretor system. We are also the same of the Mother Earth. We have the same elements. So how we can feel disconnected? I would like I have a question for Ganga about what she said before on that the suffering is something that is not possible to avoid. The polarity neither. We need to live in polarity and we need to live in suffering in order to awake, in order to improve, and in order to advance. Otherwise, we will be sleeping. But I am pretty sure that you, Karin, you, Ganga, and me don't like to see people suffering. So what will be the best recommendation that you, Ganga, say to someone who need to, who are suffering at this moment for any kind of situation? What would you say to about the suffering?
Thank you for the question. My intention was not exactly about the suffering, but about to go outside of the comfort zone. Yeah. So when some movements start to happen, it can bring some growth. Yeah. And when the person go outside of the comfort zone, any kind of comfort. Yeah. So it's not about to be in the war. Yeah. You're laying in the bed, you have the house, you have the family, everything is okay. And then one day the war happened. It's not that kind which have to be happen that the person will grow or the changes will rise. Yeah. War somehow they are just happening in our um on our planet for already many years. Yeah, and it's still happening on another planet. It's still going on in the same time. So it's not the war, it's not exactly through which the people are suffering, through which the people need to go through, but to go outside of those limits and to see that they have a choice. And now, because we're in that kind of time when it's Aquarius time, we're not in the fish time anymore. So what, as you said, right, we're in the time of the internet, in the time of knowledge. So the future after the knowledge, the future after to go outside of those limits where somehow the system or the people or we are put us together, yeah, and like to be totally closed like in the cage. So now it's the time to go outside of the cage or just open a little bit the window and to see, okay, and what's outside of my house, what's happening there. Yeah. And when you start to open up yourself more and more and more, you start to receive more information, you start to receive more knowledge, and you start to grow. So it's not exactly about the suffering, is somehow the suffer comes, yeah, and through the suffer, the people changing more, especially when it's a really big happening big changes, or as you said, the example about the Steve Jobs life or whatever. Yeah, so I don't know how it's happening in his life, if he's really decided that and it was the story about this, or what. I know that sometimes something which is happening with us, it's not exactly the what we are choosing. Yeah, because we just don't want, we are just too lazy to rewrite what was being chosen for us. Okay, so now we have a choice. Now we have that choice to start the beginning from each of us, to stop that suffering. And that's why we have such a group like 144, and actually we're in much more, because after that trip which where we've been, and we've been also in much smaller groups, yeah. But what's happening after that? After that kind of retreats, after that kind of alignment, which we did with Matthias and with other good teachers as well, it's bringing to us the growth. It's changing something inside of us, and it starts to change in our field around. So we bring in that information to our family, to our friends, to the people who live next by, nearby, or if we are walking on our magnetic field, we can bring it much wider. Yeah, and that's what why I did, why I went to the Russia after the Egyptian trip, and when I finished all of the stuffs in Egypt, because I wanted to bring that new flow, that new knowledge to the people who are there and who are suffering. And what I was doing, I was communicating from all of my heart. And for me, it wasn't being matter if the person is like this nationality or another one, because for me, nationality doesn't exist. And I think it's the future, yeah, how will be the new humanity. Because we don't have like, yeah, you are the black, you're the yellow, you're the red or green or whatever. You understand? It doesn't exist the colors, any kind of separation.
Even human.
Yeah, we're all human, and human is it is nationality already. It's a race, human. So, and we're in that kind of race in the third dimension now. In the third dimension is very important because we need to bring those different experiences from which we can grow. Now, finally, we have choice. So each of us, we are creating that kind of changes. And why how we can bring the difference, the big difference, let's say, on our earth, or what any kind of person who is suffering can start to do, start from himself. Not to see and blame someone. No, it's your fault. The war happened, it's your fault. I'm not happy, it's your fault. We're taking responsibility for ourselves. We start to work with ourselves. We start to work with ourselves from what? From the heart chakra, from the love, from expanding that compassion, that empathy for ourselves. Because if we don't love ourselves, how we can share something? If you don't have anything, you have nothing to share. So you cannot take it from example of someone, because it will be fake. It doesn't have any kind of form inside. And what we are creating from this dust, because yeah, we're humanity, we're the earth, and kind of like all of the populations like a dust. We are the dust, but we can change our form, yeah, and we can create the right form, which will bring the big changes, because we are maybe the small part, but the small part of very huge thing, which is also changing. Because if you feel that you have some pain or something like itching you start to touch it, yeah. So and then something start to happen. So like we are bringing changes as well. And if the people are thinking, no, it's the government who are bringing changes, or like someone else, no, everything starts from us. And especially in that point when we are start to suffering, we need to look at the situation from the opposite side and start to understand, okay, what I'm suffering of, yeah, what is happening, why. And then we start to bring that love to ourselves and start to share that love with everyone who are around, who are really in need. So we can like through doing that kind of spiritual work, because for sure not everyone will start now from, I don't know, from today or from tomorrow to do meditation or any kind of practices to think about chakras, to clean, to do alignment or something. No, it's a lot of people who will never do that in their lives, and they don't have to, because if each of us, we have our own role here, and they don't have to totally, because what we are doing, we're doing for all, because we are one, as was the passport for today. Here we go. So we're one. We're the huge molecule, which is containing these small molecules inside, and we're creating that form. And that form could be very beautiful. So now it's some mess around, but we can create something unique, yeah, in complete figure.
Harmonize it.
And
Yeah.
I would like to add something. We are designed to be capable, to be awakened, and to be in touch with our interdimensionality and be harmonic and be aligned and be. We are all, we have all the capacities. Everyone has it. Because there is this thought about healers and some people who are special, and we activate people, yes we do, we help people, and we do things, but we are all, we have all the same capacities. We are designed to, we could do that. It's just level of consciousness, and everyone, like you said, sometimes no words needed, just transmission, just be there. What you learn, go back to your country, to your loved ones, to where the place do you live, in your streets, and just breathe in, and you do the transmission with love, and you share these codes. Some people, when you ask Ganga what you would say to somebody who is suffering, I was like, okay, he didn't ask this to me, he asked this to Ganga. But what I would say, like, okay, is this a child? Is this a woman? Is she awakened already? Is she spiritual thinking? No, but if it's a child, if it's a different level of consciousness. But I would say if somebody is suffering, you can give a hand. You can say a word. You can give a hug. Or you can also education, spread the word, sacred geometry in schools, meditations. Say a smile, put a smile to your neighbor instead of like not saying hello back.
Very right. Yes. And it's very good to understand too how amazing is the human body. When you said that we are already prepared to be that kind of consciousness, it's very interesting to understand that the temple of the human body is as special that even we are not able to understand yet. The current doctor, the medical situation today is that they don't understand a lot the body. Even I asked a question to a psychologist, and I said to her, I asked to her, it's real that the psychologists mostly don't understand emotional body and they talk only about the mental body. And she said, yes, we don't talk too much about emotional body. And there was a very important Chilean scientific called Humberto Maturana, who said many years ago that the human is not a rational people. The human is emotional people. We are emotional beings. Is our emotion what we conduct, what we guide to whatever we want to do? It's not our rational mental. But we cannot understand emotion very well. Actually, if you ask to someone else, can you put a name to the emotion that you are feeling at this moment? For so many people, it's not that easy to put a name to the emotion that they are feeling. We had a lot to explore in our body. And when I said in our body, I don't mean our physical body, I mean our emotional body and our spiritual body too. For some people, even to talk about the spiritual body means something very, very weird. Are you a religious guy? Are you what kind of guy are you in order to talk about the spiritual body? And for me, it's very hard to explain that we are not most physical body. We are mostly a spiritual body. It's the spiritual body that provide the life. It's not the physical body that provide the life. The physical body is only the car that we are experiencing this life. But the spiritual body is the oil that give the power that the car is able to move. So I think that yeah, what is interesting thing about living is that we have a lot of things to explore yet. But mostly this exploring should be in your inner self to explore and to know yourself better, not to understand what is happening outside, why this is happening to me, why I am so bad lacking this, or I am suffering about that, trying to feel to find a guilty outside of you. When we make responsible for ourselves, it's a good point to understand how free we can be. And I would like to highlight the word free because if I could say it, what Chilean people is, I shouldn't say that is revolutionary. I should say that Chilean people is more free. We love freedom. We love freedom here. It's like there are many years with freedom that we don't want any government that wants to stress our freedom in order to dominate us. So in order to understand how the freedom is, it's very important to understand that you had to make responsible for yourself, not finding guilty outside. That's it.
Let's close
Let's
our
recite in a love language and share that love language with whole family, with everyone.
Okay, let's close the space.
Let's close our eyes for a moment. And from our hearts to yours, to the unborn, to the listeners, and to our ancestors, from our hearts, this is a call. This is a sharing from the heart, vibrating for the good of humanity. To share, planting a seed of love towards unity. For this conversation, dear brother and sister, you're representing here for me, divine masculine and feminine. I see myself in you. I honor you. I honor myself. I honor Earth. And let's create a better future so we can write the past. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.